Hey dads, I hope you're having a good day. I'm ready for a drink. And today we have a whiskey cocktail, probably the original cocktail, some might say. It was certainly the first one that made me fall in love with cocktails about 20 years ago and kind of sent me down this journey. So if you're new here, I'm Ben Sullins, the Cocktail Dad, and today we're gonna make the Old Fashioned. We always want to start with the chilled glass. These are really cheap. I just got them at the corner store and put it in the freezer. We're gonna make our drink directly in the cocktail glass. I think this is even called an old-fashioned glass if you want to look one up. There's basically 2-3 ingredients, which is what I always try to keep these simplified for you. We start with the whiskey. I like something that you can drink straight. Something like a Buffalo Trace is one of my favorites. Then we're gonna have the bitters. This is your classic Angostura bitters. You can also spice it up. We'll do that at the end, so stay tuned for that. And then we need some simple syrup. You may see people do this with sugar cubes, but to me what happens is if you put a sugar cube and make it in there like that, what happens, it'll be all whiskey and then all sugar. And to me that's not good. So you can buy this or you can just make it. It's pretty easy. I'll maybe do a video if you want on that. So 3 ingredients, really 2 if you don't count the bitters, and it's a pretty straightforward ratio. I like to go 2 ounces of bourbon. Some people do rye, whatever you like. Drop it in there. Maybe put a little more if you've had a longer day. A couple dashes of Angostura bitters. I always try to cover it because it always shoots out. You'll find that, you know, your right ratio. Do you like more bitters or less, whatever. And then depending on how sweet you like it, it's either like a ½ ounce of simple syrup or maybe less. I do like a ¼ ounce because I don't like it super sweet. Drop that in and you have the basic parts of your old fashioned. You're essentially done. Obviously we want to cool this down, so we're going to bring in some ice. Whatever ice you have is fine. I happen to have this really super expensive clear ice that I bought. It's not tempered yet, and you can tell because it's still kind of frosted. And if you were to see this to be totally clear and everything, then is when it's ready. Otherwise, if I drop it in there, it's gonna break. I'm not gonna do that because that would be a huge waste of money. These are very expensive. I'll teach you sometime later on how to make these, but whatever ice you have is good. The better the quality, of course, is always better. So give me a second, let me temper this, and then we'll continue. Okay, so this is what it should look like when it's tempered. See how it's totally crystal clear? I mean, it's kind of hard to hold. And you can get these fancy ice tongs, but they're not very useful, so I just, use my hand, no big deal. Drop it in, it didn't break, hallelujah. Stir this guy up. I mean, you can stir, it's funny, I've seen people stir actually with this side, it's quite easier, but if you get the technique, you can kind of do it like this until it's cold. Ideally, big fancy bartenders will say, make it as cold as possible. You'll figure it out. Then once you're done, you can garnish it if you want. I like to use an orange peel, which I think is the original or the correct way to do it. You can get a peeler. I do a knife because I actually want it to be thicker, unless you have a really good orange. So I'll just kind of cut it away from my body. Something like that, and then you can squeeze the actual oils over it like this, and then you kind of dress it, and you have an old fashioned. You can stop here and enjoy. You can also spice it up a bit. Here's how I do it at my house. That's the basic one I do. Other people put cherries and things. I'm not into that. So I like a little bit of orange bitters as well, just to kind of bring out, it pairs well, obviously, with the garnish. So I'll do a couple drops of that, just a touch. And that's usually my go-to, but also I like this chocolate bitters here. This is one of the ones I found locally. If you don't have this, I think Angostura or Scrappy's or whomever makes other chocolate bitters. So that's another way you can kind of spice this up. Whenever you augment the drink like that, you'll want to kind of mix it again and stir it. And then you enjoy. Now, this was the first drink that really got me going on this whole cocktail journey. And so if you've never had this, this is the best place to start for sure. But the one I actually make more often than not compared to an old fashioned, which is basically the same drink but with one different ingredient, is one that you're gonna have to watch in this video over here. To learn how to make that, it's easier. You don't need simple syrup, just other kinds of booze, and I think a little bit richer in flavor. So that's it for this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you back here next time. Cheers.